This is the Fructus Tool Manager. It's a quick, easy-to-learn software for managing tools, folders, and fixtures. It can run directly inside of GibbsCAM or as a standalone version so anyone can use it. What's nice is it links to a database so all systems on that database can share the information. I'm going to show you some examples. I'm going to start in the Tools section. No matter what items you're managing, tools, folders, or fixtures, there's a long way to add them, where you're putting in the parameters yourself, and there's a short way to add them, where you're importing them directly from GibbsCAM. Once you have items in ToolManager, you can then export them to GibbsCAM, making adding and editing very fast. Right now, I'm going to import a tool from GibbsCAM. My first tool is an insert that's already paired with the tool holder. In this case, ToolManager is going to think of it more like an assembly. I'm going to make sure that the tool is highlighted, and then I'm going to hit the Import from GibbsCAM button. Here, the image and the parameters that were imported from GibbsCAM are displayed. You can edit them now or later, and you can also edit the things that didn't come from GibbsCAM. I'm going to put this tool in the Lathe Tools group, so it's easier to find later. You can also define it as a standard tool in your library. Add notes, add an item number that generates a barcode, and even add supplier information, which I'm going to do in a second. Once you press OK, the tool is added to the list, and now anyone on the database can edit this tool. One reason to edit a tool might be to add supplier information. In the supplier section, you can add information about specific brands, so when it's time to reorder tools, things are easy to find. Once a supplier is added to the list, you can select it in a specific tool. Here, we can see the supplier now. Now, you may not want to link the insert and the tool holder. In that case, my second tool is just an insert. I'm going to follow the same process to import it from GibbsCAM. I'll put this one in the Lathe Tools group as well. Maybe choose a different picture. Now that tool is in the list, but it's just an insert. And when you do things this way, you can manage all your tool holders in the holder section. It has the same import and export functions, so I'm going to import the tool holder off of Tool 1. Once I press the button, I get a similar dialog where I can fill in information, like a name, notes, image, and a holder class, which I'll show in a second. Just like on the tools side, now it's generated the solid and entered that in the list, so I can export it into any GibbsCAM session. When it comes to holder class, we can add holder classes so that we can specify them on the holders. Once it's in the list, just like the supplier, you can find it in the drop-down menu. Let's imagine that Tool 2 didn't exist. This is where we can go the opposite direction and export things to GibbsCAM. I'm going to choose the tool I want to export and click on the Export to GibbsCAM button. Here, it's generated just the insert. The same way, from the Holder section, I can highlight the tool I want to export the tool holder onto and then press the Export to GibbsCAM button. There's the solid that's come into GibbsCAM, and it's been tied to the tool holder. Mill tools work the same way. Here, I have a tool and a holder paired. Importing it will create an assembly of the tool and the holder. Everything else is very similar, but I'll put this one in the Mill Tools group. Now, pressing OK adds that tool to the list. There's also a quick way to add multiple tools and put them into a group automatically. Here, I'm going to choose all of these tools at once. If I import them, since I have multiple tools, I have the option to check off the Add All. This means that instead of going through each one and pressing OK, it's just going to import them all very quickly. I can choose a group from the list, or I can create a different group, maybe based on the job number. I'll save that group and press OK, and here you can see all of the tools have been added to the list. Once you have items in your list, you can use the list functions, which are the same in each section. If you right-click in the corner, you can choose what columns are shown. There's quite a selection, and anything with a check mark will be shown as a column. Once the columns are shown, they can be dragged and dropped to reorder them. You can also sort information in a column by clicking it to alternate through ascending and descending. If you're looking for a specific tool, you can right-click a column to add a filter. Only comments with drill in them are now displayed. You can narrow down your search more by adding multiple filters. Once you're done, you can remove a filter quickly. I've been adding my tools to groups, so that's another good way to sort tools. If I pull down this list, you can see the groups that were already added. You can easily add groups with the plus button on this page, or as I showed you when we brought in the tool. Once a group is added, you can use this tab to decide what tools go into what group. Tools can be part of multiple groups, so they're an easy way to sort things. Once you're done, you can come down, choose the group, and these are all my tools that were in job 1. Once items are displayed the way you want, you can export them or print them. That will be based on the view you currently see, and you also have the option to export just one line that's selected, multiple lines selected, or all lines in view. The last thing I want to show is the fixture side of things. Fixtures has a simple fixture item section and a fixture assembly section. All fixture items will go into the main fixture section, but if they're only a single item, like this 3-jaw chuck, they don't have to go any further. Once again, we have an import and an export button. I'm going to export this 3-jaw chuck into my GibbsCAM program. I select it, and I choose the Export to GibbsCAM button. You can see that the fixture has been imported, and now all I have to do is set it to fixture, possibly edit it depending on where it comes in, and I'm good to go. On the milling side, I have another program here. Launching ToolManager in GibbsCAM is done through the ToolManager menu. When it starts, it'll look at the database, and now all of the changes I've made are carried over. Single item fixtures can be loaded one by one through the fixture section, but if you have items that go together, you can use the fixture assembly section to add them all together. Exporting to GibbsCAM works the same way by highlighting it and clicking on the Export to GibbsCAM button. Depending on where it was located when it was brought into ToolManager, you may want to move it at that point and set it as a fixture. Different fixtures can be saved for different locations, or you can just move it like so and then apply as a fixture. And now I have my vise ready to go. I hope this shows how easy it is to use ToolManager, and if you need any further details, please take a look at our other videos. Thank you.